With the new gameplay presentation from Tears of the Kingdom, we've finally shown the brand new abilities of the game. Unique powers controlled by Link's new green Sonai hand that allows him to interact with the world in brand new ways. These new powers are Recall, which lets you rewind an object's time, Fuse, which allows you to fuse weapons and materials together to create new weapon varieties, Ultra Hand, which lets you pick up objects and attach them to others to build vehicles and other automations, and Ascend, which allows you to pass through ceilings, regardless of how thick they are. These new abilities will serve as the replacements for the Sheikah Slate runes, but when comparing all of these 4 new abilities to each other, one sticks out from the rest, that being Recall. When using Fuse, Ultra Hand and Ascend, the entirety of Link's new arm begins to glow with the same tone of green, despite the icons being of completely different colors. But not with Recall. Instead, Recall glows yellow, and only from the centerpiece of the back of the hand, whereas the others glow from the rest of the arm, but not the centerpiece of the hand. In fact, Recall is the only ability of the 4 shown that has an actual rune, as well as the depiction of the patterns around the centerpiece of the hand. Compared to the others, it feels very out of place. This symbol is also the only one of these 4 powers showcased on promotional artwork, such as the big Link statue seen in conventions, as well as the Tears of the Kingdom Nintendo Switch OLED. But something to note about this new Switch OLED design is that, aside from the Recall rune depicted on the back of one of the Joy-Cons, there is another symbol on the other Joy-Con, different from the Recall rune, and which is not seen in the gameplay. And when we take a look at the pin set of the collector's edition that was previously revealed, we learn that it will contain 4 pins. The 2 pins shown once again differing from both of the ones shown in the presentation, as well as the Switch OLED. As these new runes are seen alongside the Recall rune, it confirms that all of these are yet to be seen abilities. At the end of the presentation, Mr. Arnuma also had this to say.
There's still a lot of new gameplay, mysteries, and encounters we couldn't show today, but they're all jam-packed into this unfamiliar Hyrule, and we hope you'll use your imagination to explore it.
It is clear that we have yet to see all the gameplay and mechanics of Tears of the Kingdom, but this raises a big question. If these are abilities, and they are runes like Recall, why aren't Fuse, Ultra Hand, and Ascend runes as well? I think I may have an answer. At the start of Breath of the Wild, we obtained 4 Sheikah Slate runes from the 4 shrines, which we would use to interact with the rest of the world. And later, within the Divine Beasts, we also obtained 4 new unique abilities from each of the 4 deceased champions. This created 2 sets of abilities, 4 Sheikah Slate runes and 4 champion powers, amounting to 8 abilities in total. Given that the runes and champion powers won't return to Tears of the Kingdom, it is very possible that Tears of the Kingdom's newly introduced abilities will follow suit, dividing the powers into 2 main categories. Green arm powers and yellow medallion powers Link will be able to attach to his hand on the circular socket. Putting the symbols that we were shown in the presentation and the other symbols from the promotional material together, we get a total of 7 abilities. 4 powers depicted with runes and 3 with unique petroglyphs. But there is actually an 8th symbol that we have actually seen in the past trailer, which is seen on the center of the glider. This red symbol are feet of the same style as the Ultra Hand icon, which would make this the last remaining ability of this set of powers. Because of this, I believe that one set of these abilities will be obtained at the start of the game, in this game's tutorial section, similar to Breath of the Wild's Great Plateau, while the second set of abilities will be obtained within 4 new Sonai themed dungeons, either at the end of them as rewards like in Breath of the Wild, or halfway through them like in more traditional Zelda dungeons, with the dungeon being built entirely around the new ability. This division of abilities could even have a symbolic meaning. While the golden variety may be found in the Sky Islands, the green variety could instead be found underground within the dungeons, showcasing the division of the Sona tribe between the sky and the underground of Hyrule. So, given what we know so far, what could these new powers be? The only clues we have currently are the runes shown in the OLED model and the collector's edition, which, as stated earlier, are stylized depictions of kanji, or to be more specific, bone writings, the antecessors of kanji. As I've discussed in prior videos, the rune of recall is a stylized depiction for the kanji for time, given that recall is a time manipulation ability very similar to stasis. Using this as a base, we can attempt to figure out the others based on how similar they look to other kanji. We first have this ability that was shown in the pin set. I looked through all the kanji that resemble the symbol, and the only one that resembles it and makes sense given the context is the kanji for wind. However, I have no idea what the ability will actually do. What comes to mind is Revali's Gale, but that won't be the case, as we already have Ascend which replaces it. And shooting wind is also out of the question, as we are able to craft weapons that can create gusts of wind, as seen with the paddle of the soldier construct. Next, we have this symbol shown in the Switch OLED, alongside the recall ability. This one is very interesting, as it looks like an eye, and I believe that it is a stylized depiction of the kanji for look. In fact, earlier depictions of this kanji depicts it as an eye with two legs. What I believe this one could do is act in a similar way to the sense ability of Assassin's Creed, allowing us to see hidden sealed rooms to then access with Ascend, hidden treasures that could be underwater, mud or lava, among other places, or even similar to Wolfling's sense ability from Twilight Princess, to see invisible characters and enemies, or even the spirits of the dead, which the last trailer heavily hints at with the spirit flames seen in the underground cavern, similar to those from Twilight Princess and those seen around the ghosts of King Rome and the champions. However, the ability to scan our surroundings may instead be reserved for the Sheikah Slate Zelda I seen holding in the artwork, with this rune perhaps being a depiction of a variation of the Look kanji with 3 lines on top, the meaning of which is awaken. It is possible that with this power, we may be able to awaken the broken down constructs found scattered on the Sky Islands in a similar way to how we restored the ancient robots from Skyward Sword using timeshift stones, and perhaps even be able to control them in a similar way to the Dominion Rod from Twilight Princess, which, much like the Green Hand and the constructs, possessed an orb of green energy which allowed us to take over statues scattered throughout Hyrule. We then have this symbol, but unfortunately is covered up with the lid of the box, but enough can be seen that we can attempt to find the kanji for it. The closest kanji to what we can see for the symbol is the kanji for construct, and if this is the one, then it is possible that using this power we can store the constructions we create using Ultra Hand, or even perhaps pre-existing vehicles such as the glider from the past trailer, and summon them at any point, similar to the rune of the Master Cycle Zero from the Champion's Ballad, which allowed us to summon the motorcycle anywhere at any given time. And finally, we have these fit symbols we see on the glider. I am inclined to think that this could be a power to stick to surfaces, in a similar way as the iron boots in Twilight Princess, which allowed us to stick to magnetized surfaces as seen in the Goron Mines, which would allow us to, perhaps, walk up walls and ceilings, even on slippery surfaces such as the walls of the shrines from Breath of the Wild, or slippery wet cliffs when it starts raining, remedying the complaint many people had for the rain impeding climbing in Breath of the Wild. And that will be all of them, 8 abilities in total. Of course, I could be wrong about what they could do, but given the similarities to those kanji and the abilities we do know so far, I think there is a chance that this could be true. But there really is no way of knowing for sure as of now, so we will have to wait until a new trailer or the final game to find out. What do you think of this? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please leave a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get notified of future uploads. Also, consider following me on Twitter and Instagram to stay in touch. This has been Zelda Lore, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!